What's going on, you guys? Kintzugi here, and we just got the high-level combat footage from Dragon Age: The Veilguard, so let's get into it. When it comes to combat, we now have a clear picture of what to expect. Right off the bat here, combat looks to feel more like combat from games like The Witcher 3 and Hogwarts Legacy. For the basics include 4 core moves that all 3 classes share, which include jump, dodge, light attack, and heavy attack, which can all be chained together. And each of these attacks can be charged to deliver a more potent version of the strike. Each class will also have ranged attacks and blocks, as well as parries, which can be used when timing them with an attacking blow. And lastly, each class can equip 2 weapon sets, which most notably offers players the ability to have close and ranged combat on each character. You know, all this may look different compared to previous Dragon Age games, but it does offer a Dragon Age combat experience that is fresh and new in my opinion, and I'm enjoying the fact that it will feel like a new experience. And what isn't new, which will make Dragon Age players feel right at home, is the ability wheel. The ability wheel allows players to pause the fight, which Dragon Age players have come to know and love. Players can use the ability wheel to assign companions to attack specific enemies and use as a tactical tool to queue up your party's abilities. The most valuable thing the ability wheel does, in my opinion, is allows players to view enemies' weaknesses and resistances, something I have really enjoyed in games like Baldur's Gate 3 to help me navigate battles and make informed decisions. Next, we have ultimates. Ultimates are powerful attacks built up through combat, just like you might have experienced in games like Final Fantasy. You fill your ultimate by doing damage. However, according to Bioware here, the ultimate meter won't fully fill during smaller skirmishes, because they are designed to decimate a significant swath of the battlefield or the toughest bosses. And this feels restricting at first glance, and I'm not sure if that means the meter won't fill on trash mobs, or if you also can't use the ultimate outside of elite and boss fights. And if you guys have any clarity on this, be sure to leave those in the comments down below. The skill trees in Dragon Age: The Veilguard look impressive. They honestly remind me visually of Final Fantasy X's skill trees. It looks vast, and I can't wait to further learn about the customization available here. What we do know now is the entire skill tree is fully refundable, allowing for players to freely experiment with builds, which I consider a must in RPGs these days. But that is indeed all for skill trees as of right now. Finally, we have confirmed the specializations for each class in Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and they are as follows. Starting with Warrior, we have Reaper, Slayer, and Champion. Now, Bioware describes these as, for Reaper, become Knight's Blade, steal life and risk death to gain incredible unnatural abilities. For Slayer, leap into the fray, wield massive punishing weapons while rushing enemies to deal devastating blows. And finally, Champion, be the shield, shrug off damage while summoning righteous fire down on enemies. For Rogue, we've got Duelist, which is described as draw your steel, parry and dodge past enemies to gain strength with every strike. Saboteur, set the stage, deploy explosives and turrets that devastate enemies, then pick them off with arrows. And finally, Veil Ranger, hunt the enemy, snipe enemies from afar using artifacts that charge arrows with dangerous, powerful magic. And for the final class, Mage, which just so happened to be the most favorite class as voted by you guys on my recent community poll. We've got Deathcaller, embrace the dark, drain life from enemies and cast spells that writhe with the essence of death itself. Evoker, call the void, freeze enemies in their tracks, then summon the deepest cold to tear them apart. And finally, Spellblade, what might just be my personal favorite. Be the storm, channel potent spells for close quarters combat infused with lightning's wrath. But what's your favorite specialization gonna be? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. The last few things to note when it comes to the recent news involving Dragon Age: The Veilguard's combat is, there will be 4 abilities assigned to Rook, 3 rune slots acting as character runes, not runes placed into weapons and armor as in previous games, 4 accessories, as well as 2 pieces of gear and weapons. You can also interact with environments in battle. For example, you can knock enemies off ledges by kicking them or using your devastating abilities. Next, we also see in this recent footage of the high-level combat that there are indeed finishing moves, and I am really excited for that one. And lastly, combat seems to have a lot of coalescence with the companions to proc more abilities abilities, which does seem like a pillar of attraction when it comes to this fresh new combat system. I can't wait to see which companions are most compatible with me to deliver the most epic combos. All in all, the combat might feel and look vastly different in Dragon Age the Veilguard compared to the previous games, but the continuation of being able to pause combat makes Dragon Age players feel at home. I personally have finished my grief cycle when it comes to wishing for Dragon Age Origins combat to return, and I am finding love and appreciation for the opportunity to experience Dragon Age in a new and fresh way with Veilguard. Alright you guys, that's just about it on this new news we got for Dragon Age the Veilguard. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to see further content on Dragon Age the Veilguard, as well as the other RPGs we cover on the channel. Just a reminder, we are streaming Dragon Age right up until Veilguard here, and we are currently on Dragon Age 2. We go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. But until next time, you fine people on the internet, I'll see you soon. Peace.